These files were never meant to be public, but someone reopened them. This is the Dark Bureau. At Dubai Airport, a suitcase passes unremarked through customs. Shirts, shoes, a laptop, and something denser, unseen behind the lining. The officer, eyes tired from routine, notes the shadow, assumes it's a hard drive, and waves the traveller through. Beyond the airport, a message pings. A middleman confirms the shipment is green. Gold, invisible to officials, has entered Dubai, slotting instantly into the global market's hidden web. Gold stands for stability and transparency, yet beneath public statements about regulation and compliance, another world thrives. This is gold's shadow superhighway, a sophisticated, concealed network through which tons of metal slip untraced by law. Here, paperwork, certificates, export licenses and tax receipts often serve as camouflage, not oversight. Governments tout new anti-smuggling plans yearly, but the flow of undocumented gold into global vaults climbs, outpacing every regulatory effort. The official gap between what is mined and what appears in places like London, Dubai and Zurich keeps widening. For every gold bar seized, many more cross borders with origins erased. The system is deeply rooted. From armed goldfields in conflict zones, through informal miners and criminal middlemen, to accountants and executives in city towers, gold moves up the chain. Few participants see the full structure. Teams map enforcement shifts and bribes with scientific care. A bar's journey begins in the tense, illicit atmosphere of a West African mine and ends in the world's vaults, changing hands smoothly from diggers to war profiteers to brokers who convert illegality into legitimacy for a price. Step into West Africa. At a mine on Burkina Faso's fringe, miners, often unregistered and underpaid, sift gold from raw earth. Official buyers working for the state offer bargain rates, while illicit buyers pay cash, demand no records, and move faster. These shadow buyers pay above official prices, then convert cash into weapons, or simply reinvest in the cycle, fueling conflict and drawing yet more prospectors. The motive isn't ideology, just profit chasing profit. Miners seeking honest pay, warlords needing cash, fixers handling documents, and brokers looking for arbitrage. Each part runs independently, but is part of the same invisible engine. Syndicates handle logistics with chilling efficiency. Trucks carry gold ore over quiet borders, stopping to pay officials whose silence is part of their wages. Miners blend illicit ore with legal gold before handoff. Some routes were mapped by colonial traders and criminals decades ago. Syndicates just update the paperwork and bribes. Licenses are forged, company invoices faked, and storage hustled away at hours no one checks. When legal documentation is demanded, someone provides it, for a fee. Consistency drives the business. By the time African gold leaves the continent, it's primed for official records, even if they're lies. India and Pakistan, massive gold consumers, form another critical junction. Heavy tariffs and tight rules here create irresistible incentives for smuggling. Couriers carry gold hidden in electronics, stitched suits, tools, or even inside their bodies. Whole families sometimes make the run, while officials are bribed or evade thoroughly. For every courier who's caught in the news, far more fly or drive through unchecked. Cash changes hands on the spot. The gold melted or fed into jewellery workshops running an off-books parallel economy. This laundering step is vital. Gold bought here can lose its history, circulating invisibly for years, with large profits going unreported and untaxed. Dubai is where all lanes converge. Minimal customs scrutiny and massive logistics parks turn the city into gold's global hub. Illicit shipments flow into legal channels, passing through free zones and private vaults, where tracing origin becomes a maze. Dealers, licensed or not, trade openly in mixed batches, and compliance is often paperwork done retroactively, if at all. Dubai's gold souk is the artery for global flows. Its volume and opacity have overwhelmed international enforcement bodies for years. To further obscure provenance, traders reroute gold through third countries. Singapore offers technical masking. Turkey serves as a holding stop, while Uganda or Sudan's records are notoriously unreliable. Each stop adds a layer, new paperwork, serial numbers and certificates to cement the gold's identity as legal. By the time it arrives in Swiss vaults or Indian factories, its original story has vanished among the legitimate shipments. Switzerland, the world's gold refining and vaulting capital, is the final stage. Its refineries receive most of the planet's newly mined gold, much of it bearing only the name of the last seller, not the original source. Unless a scandal erupts, deep origin questions are rare. Gold is melted down, recast and stamped with fresh branding. Responsibly sourced. Internal audits seldom probe hard or follow uncomfortable threads, unless pressed by outside regulators or journalists. The Swiss model prioritises throughput and legal deniability over meaningful scrutiny. The industry shields itself through codes of conduct, third-party badges and audits. But almost all these processes can be bypassed with bribes or better paperwork. Regulatory bodies struggle to monitor the torrent of shipments. Guidance from international groups often goes only half implemented, as local enforcement is hobbled by budget, legal loopholes, or vested interests. Major refineries and central banks fiercely oppose rules that could slow the trade or expose their supply chains. Public relations campaigns, consultations, and industry workshops bind the status quo tighter, forestalling real transparency or oversight. Investigative journalism and non-profit work provide rare windows into these opaque networks. Through leaked documents, satellite images, and painstaking field reporting, new connections emerge. Links from battle-scarred African hills to polished gold in Mumbai or Geneva. In 2022, a United Nations study estimated that 321 metric tonnes, a sum double the recorded legal flows, left Africa through such clandestine routes. Enforcement pushes are announced, laws tweaked. The practical response, syndicates adapt, finding new routes, producing new paperwork or exploiting weak transit states. Each border clampdown simply reroutes supply, while governments and companies often point blame elsewhere, trusting the fog of global jurisdiction and inconsistent rules to protect them. Major financial centres like Dubai, Singapore and Zurich trade on their reputations for speed, fluid capital and light touch oversight. Stricter rules such as KYC forms or improved barcoding are promoted but inconsistently used. Where customs pay is wretched and temptation high, a single shipment's bribe can eclipse an officer's yearly wage. Serious reforms are quickly neutralised. Syndicates anticipate changes and traditional smuggling works where enforcement is weakest. Technology lags. Blockchain and digital tracing face gaps, while simple fakery or bribery still gets gold past most checkpoints. Reform often falters before it's even begun. This superhighway persists because it meets the market's dual need. Uncertainty benefits those who profit from swift, unchecked flows. Differentials in taxes or currency, outright export bans, and black markets create immense incentives for smuggling. Each new regulation is just a pause. Syndicates change tactics or find new allies. With little cross-border accountability or penalties proportionate to the risk, the illicit trade flourishes almost undeterred. When enforcement bites, the system flexes and shifts. Indian customs raids make national news. Handcuffed couriers, gold bars unslung from hidden spaces. In Switzerland, prosecutors seize suspect shipments after rare leaks, but volumes shift quietly as soon as sanctions or blacklists appear. Syndicates switch partners, adjust paperwork or move shipping to friendly regimes. The masterminds are distant, their names buried among shell companies, never directly exposed. The sheer complexity thoroughly outpaces any official cleanup. Court records in Zurich have shown massive banks holding gold as loan collateral, only to discover later that chains of documents were forged. Law enforcement struggles under the avalanche of correspondence and shell firm filings. Coordination across borders is usually too slow or blocked by conflicting interests. Reports reveal central bank reserves, even in wealthy states, tainted by suspect gold. Scandals only addressed under pressure, never proactively. Financial crimes teams are overwhelmed by the whirling proliferation of aliases and offshore firms. The damage is all too real. In the goldfields of Mali or Burkina Faso, violence and displacement follow the illegal gold rush. Toxic mercury and cyanide poison rivers. Forests are stripped bare. Children labour for wages that barely feed them, while gold-funded militias control the extraction, fueling cycles of conflict and suffering that leave deep scars on communities and on the land. Social and health crises mount, but they're never mentioned in trade paperwork or refinery audits. Globally, shadow economies blossom. In India, alley markets move huge volumes of unrecorded gold and untaxed cash. In Switzerland, luxury firms and financiers pay premiums for metal whose real origin is unknowable. Underground networks handle credit, logistics, and profit flows for smugglers and brokers far beyond the reach of tax authorities. Reform initiatives, factory raids, clean refinery certifications mainly snare small actors, leaving actual architects secure and untouched by consequence. The superhighway feels unbreakable because it satisfies global economic drives, while meaningful transparency remains elusive. International bodies call for deeper oversight and better tracking, but real reforms are slow, watered down, or blocked by political inertia. Central banks and refiners promote self-policing with new audits and workshops. Yet most efforts never pierce the dense layers shielding illicit flows from scrutiny. When the spotlight lands, blame slides to low-level players and investigations fade to quiet. The risk isn't just regulatory. Unchecked flows power conflict, distort economies, and undermine trust in the law and in the market. From jewellery counters to central bank vaults, confidence in value depends almost entirely on systems designed to obscure where gold actually comes from. The challenge is not revealing the superhighway, but forcing anyone truly powerful to confront it. Profits mask the persistent threat of exposure. Another suitcase is loaded somewhere, paperwork immaculate, connection mapped, the hidden superhighway always open for business. When a Zurich official inspects a bar stamped responsibly sourced, doubts linger. Is this a product of peace or of violence? For the global gold system, the crucial question is rarely what can be proven. It's what can be denied. The world's security and prosperity are built atop networks that keep origins hidden. The gold superhighway is not an outlier, but the backbone of modern value. For the moment, the circuit endures, its brilliance shadowed by what lies beneath.